Hi everyone, my name is Amanda Massey and welcome to my YouTube channel, Massey Styles. Today, I wanted to go over some fashion terms such as the difference between vintage and antique and couture and haute couture. And then for the skincare portion of the episode, The Ordinary, which is one of my favorite skincare brands, they launched a new soothing serum. And I tried it and I want to tell you how it worked for me and hopefully you'll try it out too. But first, let's start with my outfit of the day. I dressed it up a little bit because we were talking about haute couture today, so I wanted to be a little extra. I have these suede Fendi thigh-high boots to wear. I have a leopard Dolce & Gabbana dress. I absolutely love this dress. I've had it for longer than I want to tell you. And this oversized tuxedo blazer that I am obsessed with is by Annie Records, who is an Italian designer that you have to check out. Amazing collection, new designer, Annie Records. Like, this is everything you've ever wanted in a tuxedo blazer and more. I can't even. Okay, anyways, let's talk about some fashion terms. Now, there is vintage, then there's antique. So what is vintage? Vintage is anything that is the age of 20 to 99 years old. After 99 years old, the item is then deemed as antique. So right now, as in 2024, anything before 1920 up to 20 years is vintage. Anything after 1920 is antique, such as this 1920 fringe flapper gown. This was sourced in San Francisco at a very, very prestigious vintage store that they don't even let me say their name. They're that prestigious. It's a thing. I had to sign a piece of paper, actually. So this dress is from there and it's a true antique. It's a collector's item. It is from that time and that era. It is an absolute original. So this would be an example of what an antique is, where vintage, I sourced these three items from a local vintage store here in Los Angeles. And we have a 90s Betsy Johnson dress, super cute polka dot. We have two Roberto Cavalli outfits. This is from early 2000s. This, I believe, is 2001. So it's like barely vintage. It's like baby vintage because it's technically 19 years, 18 years, if I can do my math right, but close enough. It's close enough. The recent Roberto Cavalli collection actually brought back this print. It's kind of cool to see it cycle back. I think it's really amazing. Roberto Cavalli does stunning prints. And last but not least is this Gianni Versace couture gown from 2006. So again, baby vintage. But the reason I brought this particular piece, even though it is not technically vintage because of its 2006, it's not really 20 years, but it's Gianni Versace couture. So what is couture? Let's talk about that. Haute couture and couture. Haute couture, there are a lot of rules and stipulations and requirements to be haute couture. Then there's couture, which is a broader word definition of a high quality luxury brand that focuses on the craftsmanship of tailoring. So going back to haute couture, Charles Worth is the father of fashion. He was such a visionary for his time that in 1868, he classified haute couture under the Fédération de la Haute Couture. So the Fédération de la Haute Couture, they are a group of French people that are very judgy and they tell you yes, no, and all these things that you have to do in order to be deemed as haute couture. Some of the requirements are you have to have an atelier in Paris. You have to show twice a year at Paris Fashion Week. You have to have a minimum of 23 looks shown twice a year. You have to have 20 artisans employed, and every single garment must be hand done, period. There are no sewing machines, which is like absolutely mind-blowing. So thank you so much, Charles Worth, for that. In haute couture, you can be haute couture one day and then the next day not be. before you're able to be labeled as haute couture or show at Paris Fashion Week, the Fédération de la Haute Couture reviews the fashion house. For example, in 2003, Givenchy was no longer deemed haute couture. It was deemed couture. Talking about couture, it's not saying that it's shabby or not as good, like, at all. I mean, couture is absolutely amazing. Like I mentioned, this particular piece, Gianni Versace added a line to his fashion brand. So he had Gianni Versace and then he had Gianni Versace Couture. So what he did is he presented a collection, but he didn't produce anything. He waited for his clients to place orders, and then they were done one by one, depending on how many orders that particular look got. A majority of the work is hand done in couture, but you're allowed to use a sewing machine because it's not deemed haute couture. So those are the two main differences, is haute couture is judged by a bunch of French people, and couture is just really amazing craftsmanship, tailoring, very expensive, one-of-a-kind pieces. Both hyper expensive, very artistic. All of the trends that you see in the fast fashion and ready-to-wear brands do trickle down from haute couture and couture. So I wanted to define these different fashion terms for you for vintage, antique, haute couture, and couture, just so that when you're shopping, you really are getting what you're looking for because you understand the differences between these two very similar categories of fashion. Now, moving on to The Ordinary, very exciting. They launched a new soothing serum. I've tried it out and I want to tell you about it. The Ordinary, I've been talking about this brand in multiple videos. It is the skincare brand that I use every single day. I really, really love it. So I always watch when they do new product launches, and they launched a new product called the Soothing Serum. I have very pale porcelain skin, but I have undertones of red. So a lot of the time my face will be more flushed and it'll be a little bit more pink than my neck. So I have to balance that out. So when I saw this soothing serum, it claims to take away redness. So I was very excited to use it, and it's okay. This is my first iffy review where, again, just because it didn't work on me doesn't mean it's not gonna work on someone else. Like, I'm not a universal truth, especially when it comes to skincare. Clothes, yes, I am a universal truth. But skincare, I'm just sharing with you what works for me and sharing different products that I like, and then you try it out for yourself and see if they work for you. This product in particular, I just wasn't wowed by it. It actually is pink. It's like Pepto-Bismol kind of vibes here for your skin. Interesting. And my skin felt hydrated. It felt a little bit cooler, but there is still redness that was mostly in my cheeks and on the top of my nose, and I'm like waiting for it to go away, and it didn't. So my review overall is it feels nice on your skin. I would use it at night, and I would also use it on my neck as well because I did feel the hydrating benefits of the serum. But if I'm looking for a product that removes redness, I don't think it really delivered on that for me. So proceed with caution for this product. I'm not sold on it, but the price point of about $10 is a pretty low risk purchase, especially because of Sephora's amazing refund policies. I won't say them, but you can look them up yourself because I don't want to encourage people to like use their refund policy. It's kind of crazy in a good way for us. But yeah, not really wowed by it. Love the brand, but not particularly this product. If you end up using it, let me know how it works for you. And I hope you enjoy learning the different fashion terms on today's episode, and I can't wait to see you next time.